Hey everybody, welcome to Goots' Wrestling Pod. I'm your host, Ray Goots. I'm here with Andrew Lee, bro.
What's
We're
going
in
on?
19 What's going on, Andrew Lee, bro? We're talking about 1996, the Royal Rumble 96. But first, before
Yes.
we get into that, let's talk about the week in wrestling really quick. I was at the Garden for the house show. I was in a VIP suite because I'm a big deal in the wrestling industry.
hmm
Um, It was a lot of fun. The house show was fun. That was the one CM Punk came out in a shower cap to save Damian Priest. Did you see that footage?
Yeah, what was that about? I don't get it why he came out in a shower cap and thing.
The idea was he cut a promo. Was like, I'm in the shower, and then people say to me like,
Oh,
Damian Priest is getting jumped, and it was he had a good match with Kaiser. It was a pretty good house show. I enjoyed it, and then of course Saturday was the AEW pay per view. I didn't see it. Did you see it?
which one was that? World's End?
World's End.
I think I watched the zero. I think I watched one match in the 0 hour. Let me see what it was.
Andrew
I
Lee
will
versus
say this.
Andrew Lee.
Whatever happened to that guy, Da Vinci? Whatever happened to him?
He got buried and sent away. The rumor was he was trying to steal Tiffany from Kaiser.
Yeah, that's I read that rumor as well, and he's been he disappeared. He's nowhere, you know?
Yeah,
So
what are we missing anything? You know what I'm
no.
saying?
So I finally
Um,
watched a little bit of that AEW. It's been like over a year since I watched, I think, right?
yeah.
And I would, go in a little bit once or twice, right, to check up on things and read up on like, see videos online of like who's getting hot and stuff. They're already burying the
Mhm.
Outrunners. Like they're already just on the pre-show, like in this 8-man tag. And I was
They
like,
lost
weren't they?
interest.
They were really hot for a bit. They were like the Acclaimed for a bit.
Yeah, but
Sad.
Tony lost interest. He doesn't care about that.
He got new shiny
Um,
toys.
Whatchamacallit? I didn't watch the show, but I read the results. It just seems like more of the same. You know what? I said this a week ago. I'll say it again. Tony is not changing for anybody. It doesn't matter if he has to book the shows in high school gyms eventually. He's just going to do what he's going to do. But I will say that
By the
uh,
way,
it,
I was saying that since 2020. Do you remember
I know,
this? I
yeah.
said that since 2020. I was
But
one of the first people who said this.
I
That
will say the
he
Death
is not
Riders,
doing this for money.
the Death Riders storyline is atrocious, and people who were like all about it months ago are starting to agree. They've got to literally abandon that as soon as they can. Just completely abandon it. Just get rid of that group. I think Moxley also. Moxley has proven that he's not as good as Seth or Roman. Went on this big rant about how Vince had shitty creative and he couldn't do what he wanted, and now Tony Khan lets him do whatever he wants, and what he does fucking stinks. So
I Did anyone ever think Dean Ambrose was the strongest member of the Shield?
that was what all the fans were saying in 2019 when he left for AEW. He acted like Vince was holding he acted and the fans acted because he acted like, remember that Jericho podcast? He acted like Vince was holding back the next Stone Cold Steve Austin, and he was holding back the next. Actually, he was propping you up, bro. You're not even due to dumpster Drosy. I think Moxley is one of the most overrated. Fucking he's a loser to me. He's only
Speaking of speaking of Duke, this is the first time I get to see Duke at a pay-per-view in this Royal Rumble. I was really excited about that.
I am. Here's the one that because I was going to bring this up later, but I'll bring it up now. The big thing they promoted for the first. By the way, the next time we see Dynamite is 2025. Okay, that's this Wednesday. We're recording this on a Monday morning. The big thing they promoted for the first show of 2020. This is when you want to know like why this was company's doing so bad. The
Can
big
I ask
thing
you a
they
question?
promoted. What?
Can I ask you a question? Is the reason
Yeah.
why you hate AEW so bad is because you lost your bet to me about AEW?
No. If it was good, listen. When CM Punk was there, I gave him props.
Okay.
But listen to me, okay? Fuck the bet. The big thing they're promoting, okay? This
No,
company's
no,
supposed
no.
to be
You
all
lost
about
the
the
bet. Don't fuck the bet. You still.
let me make my point here because this
All
ties
right.
into the Royal Rumble because we're this goes right into the first match of the Royal Rumble. 2025. The big thing they're promoting for Dynamite is Jeff Jarrett has an announcement. That is the thing they're promoting for the first Dynamite of the new year, 2025. We're talking about 1996. The guy stunk back then. You believe that?
Yeah, that's the announcement. I don't think Jeff Jarrett stinks, but yeah, that's he definitely needs. I don't look. Hey, he has the first match on this. I don't think he's the reason why the match stunk. All right, but
Mhm.
let's get into it. Jeff Jarrett does have an announcement. It is probably that he's going to wrestle for another 10 years. That's what I think it's going to be. Uh, Royal Rumble
He rebought
1996.
TNA. Him and his he used his dad's money to rebuy TNA.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome if they rebought TNA.
And the first match in his new regime is him versus Dolph Ziggler, where he's going to win the belt. There you go.
Yeah. Jared gets the belt back. Royal Rumble 1996. You've been warned. Takes place January 21st, 1996, in Fresno, California. 9,600 people are in attendance. 260,000 pay-per-view buys. This is a big upgrade, a big bump from the previous WWF pay-per-view, In Your House 5, which only had 80,000 buys. Um,
Mm-hmm.
almost a
Everyone loves the
200.
Rumble, Daddy.
Yeah, it's almost a 200,000 extra buys. Um, In Your House 6, which will come after this, kind of gets that Royal Rumble rub, and we'll have 150,000 pay-per-view buys. This takes place on January 21st. So let's do a little comparison. Let's see what's happening on the other side. In WCW, the next pay-per-view, which will be Super Brawl in February 11th. That's less than a month away. We'll have 210 pay-per-view buys. So right now, they're kind of like they're very, very neck and neck already. This is pre NWO. They're already kind of neck and neck.
I know,
And
but the Nitro is making WCW hot, just Nitro
yes,
itself.
yes, this is why you can see Junior Vince McMahon Jr. start sweating a little bit. And we're gonna see it in this.
Mm-hmm.
Because now he can't ignore them. He cannot ignore WCW at this point. So this show, a little change in pace of their usual PG shit, starts off with Sunny in a bathtub bathing, right? And they got that
Mm-hmm.
stock Wicked Games from Chris Isaac music playing in the background, and she opens the Royal Rumble. This is a weird, this is a weird way to start the show. Did you see this in your VHS or anything?
Yeah. It was also on the Coliseum video because I used to have the Coliseum video and then they sold it. Yeah, they were all about the Sunny Train. Listen, I thought back then, and even when we see her later, she was probably the most gorgeous woman in wrestling at that point. But they were all about her, and yeah, they're kind of almost implying that like this is going to be a little bit more of a harder edge show. I'll
Yeah.
say this: this was the best Rumble since '92.
Um, you know what? I'll take your word for it because I can't even remember the other Rumbles that well, you know.
Well,
But
'93 was when Yokozuna won.
uh,
94 was when Brett and Lex did the double KO or double win. And 95 is one with no stars, where the biggest star besides Shawn Michaels is fucking Henry Godwin. So remember that one? We hated that one. So this one, this is a much better show than the last three. So
yeah, but yeah, I would say that it's still not a great one, but it's decent. Um,
mm-hmm.
but yeah, and this is weird. You're right. Sunny at the time was the hottest woman in wrestling, but like she's like transitioning from being like this annoying heel valet to like this, oh, she's super hot. She's smoking hot, you know? So very
Yeah. Well, I
interesting.
think I think Vince knew the smart move would be to get her away from the fucking Bonnie Adonis, but I think she
Yes.
probably was like, if I and it came true. If I move away from him, he's got nothing. But I wouldn't be. I feel like Vince had a better plan for her than she. I don't know. Like I just feel like she still had loyalty to Chris Candido. I mean, she still has. She misses him. He's dead, but you know, I don't know. She was bigger. She was already a bigger star than Chris Candido. Just the first time she walked through the curtain when we saw her at SummerSlam '95. Like, you know,
Yeah,
it's
and I
just
think
what
you're
it is. What it is. I think Chris Candido's a great wrestler, and I probably think he's probably a better person than she wound up being. But she's a bigger star. She just has more of a presence than him.
yeah,
He's a fucking
yeah,
doofus.
yeah. No,
He's
no. I think
QT Marshall.
yeah, it's kind of sad because you're right, and I think I agree with you on a lot of things. Number one,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, Junior is clearly positioning her away from Chris Candido, which is the right thing to do because she is a much bigger star. She just is, right? She just has more
Mm-hmm.
of an it factor. You're right. Chris Candido is probably a nicer person, but you know, in any business, just because you're being nice doesn't mean you deserve something. You know,
Yeah.
it's just whether or not you have the potential or not. And
Mm-hmm.
you're probably right. She probably is feeling very loyal to him, you know, and that's why she's sticking around with this because we're gonna see it. She's gonna stick around, but very
I
interesting to see
think if
her
she,
transition that way.
I think if she had dumped him and went with Sean full time, like it wasn't just an affair. It was like legit. Like I'm with Sean. I'm not with this fucking scrub. No offense to Chris Candido, but I think Vince would have like put her with Sean.
And I think if she had done that, all three would be better off for it. I think even Chris Candido would have been better off for it.
I
I
think
think he's
Chris
probably alive
Candido.
today.
I don't know. I think Chris Candido was like, dude. The stories he ever he was a total cuck for her. He was a total bitch for her. Like I think she could have been like right now. She could have been like, oh, I'm gonna go blow Tony Khan. But you could wrestle on Dark. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. That's great. I get a job on Dark. Okay. Oh, want me to videotape it for him? I think Tony's a great guy. Thank you. I don't know. I don't know, man. I just he was in love, man. It's hard when you're that in love. It's kind of pathetic.
Yeah,
Maybe
it
he
is.
would have got. Maybe he would have. Maybe when she murdered someone, he would have got over it. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, like back then, he's like, I'm never like he didn't know about Tiffany Stratton and fucking Becky Lynch. He's like back then he's like, I have the hottest woman ever in wrestling. No one's ever gonna be hotter than
You know what?
like
He did. He did. It was a
he
fact.
did.
At the time,
It
he
was a
did
fact.
have the hottest woman in wrestling. So, yeah, I can see how you could fall for that. Well, after that, we finally get the Royal Rumble intro, which highlights the main three attractions: Bret Hart versus Undertaker, Goldust versus Razor Ramon, and the Rumble itself. Vince McMahon Jr. welcomes us with Mr. Perfect, who will be on commentary with him. We'll go right into our first match, which we alluded to in the beginning. It's Jeff Jarrett versus Ahmed Johnson.
Well, hold on before we get into the first match.
Yes,
In the video package, we see two big additions when they show like all the stars in the Rumble.
yes.
Steve Austin, the
Mhm.
ringmaster with hair, and Vader.
Vader, yes.
Vader is here. WCW is the mid card that Hogan and Bischoff turned their back on is slowly coming over to
Yes,
WWE.
yes. There, so if you're keeping track, yeah, WCW has lost Dustin Rhodes,
Mm-hmm.
Stone Cold, oh, just stunning Steve Austin, which were the workhorse backbone at the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the mid card division. And they also lost Vader, who was like a big component to the main event scene.
Yeah,
And that's
and
nothing. And
they're
they'll
about to
lose more.
lose. They're about to lose the marvelous one, Mark Mero.
Yeah, they're gonna lose a lot more. So this is interesting. You're right. And it's one of them. One of these obviously ends up being really costly for them. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but let's go into our first match: Jeff Jarrett versus Ahmed Johnson. This feud is happening because of the last pay per view. Jeff Jarrett hit Ahmed Johnson over the head with a CD. Um, Johnson is so is mad. So when he comes out, he just jogs to the ring and he starts mounting an attack, an assault on Jeff Jarrett right away. Chases Jeff Jarrett around the ring. Um, thing I noticed about Ahmed Johnson's offense, they're not crisp at all. They look like
Mm-hmm.
he's not doing them properly, but he has a lot of intensity whenever he does stuff. So it's like passable, you know. It's like yeah, they look a little sloppy, but he's like intense. So that's why that was always his appeal. He just so much has so much intensity. He looks
Well,
always intense.
there's some matches where he does actually put it in, and then he injures the guy. So
Oh,
um,
um,
I, I will say I think Jeff Jarrett was the wrong opponent. He came off looking really good at the '95 Survivor Series. I mean, he had a lot of problems, yes, but he came off looking really good. And then putting him with Jeff Jarrett these last two pay-per-views, it's just Jeff Jarrett did him no favors, and also the finishes of both times did him no favors, especially because Jeff Jarrett takes off after this show again.
yeah, yeah. Um, so Ahmed Johnson's hand gets caught in the ropes, and Jeff starts the beatdown process. But Ahmed Johnson hulks up. His hulking up is just jogging in place. By the way, just so weird. It's just jogging in place.
Did you notice like they started giving people Hulk ups? Like Shawn Michaels did the kip up, but that's basically like a Hulk up. They started giving people like Hulk ups again. Like I
Dude,
think to be
even to this day, there's people who still have Hulk ups.
who has a Hulk up?
Doesn't John Cena have a Hulk up?
No, what's his Hulk up?
Um,
No, Shawn Michaels when he
no,
did the
he does.
kick up, he would just stop selling.
Yeah, but doesn't he does he starts doing this, John Cena? He starts like rubbing his.
Yeah, I don't consider a Hulk up is like okay. A Hulk up would be like Roman Reigns gets hit with like four go to sleeps by CM Punk and then just stands right up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not like he rallies, like he literally and that's was Hulk Hogan like just stopped selling and then he just goes to
Yeah,
the
yeah,
finish.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're right, John. Yeah, back then, if you were somebody, you were given a Hulk up. Like
Well,
you
I think Vince thought like that was the key because Shawn starts doing the kip up where
yeah,
that's basically his Hulk up. It's a more athletic
mhm,
Hulk up.
yeah. Ahmed Johnson is jogging in place.
Mhm.
So he starts doing a comeback, and then she sends Jeff Jarrett outside, and then Ahmed Johnson does this plancha dive over the top rope. He overshoots this freaking thing, and he misses Jeff Jarrett. It lands on his head on the concrete. And Mr.
Mhm.
Perfect says he's lucky he landed on his head. um, he's fine though. He's fine. He acts like it didn't hurt him, and he gets back and he does a somersault leg drop off the top. Um, he misses it though because Jeff Jarrett gets out of the way and he starts clutching his right leg. So his right leg. He's like, "Oh, I hurt my right leg doing this." Jeff Jarrett puts on the figure four, but gets reversed, and then um, Ahmed Johnson kicks him out, and he sends to the outside. So Jeff Jarrett's mad. He's like, "I can't even put on the figure four." He's frustrated, so he grabs his guitar and he comes off the top with it, and he hits Ahmed Johnson with the guitar off the top to a big boom. It smashes over his head. It's a big boom. Crowd like pops for that, and Ahmed Johnson wins by DQ. Ahmed Johnson will no sell this. He'll fucking rip the. Well, he's down for a bit, but then he gets up, he rips it off, and he chases Jeff Jarrett to the back again. This is a steep. You're right. This match did Ahmed Johnson may not be the best wrestler, but the point is that they're trying to push him into be somebody bigger, right? And this did
Yeah.
not do him any favors. I agree with that.
Um. Yeah. Uh, I also just think Jeff Jarrett stinks. I think the whole get up stinks. And if you're gonna have a guy come out with that stupid hat and everything, I just think Ahmed needs to squash him. He doesn't need to be going. You had him body slam Yokozuna, pin Yoko. Did he pin Yokozuna or did fucking Shawn pin him? But whatever the case
John
is, he,
Pinder.
he body slammed Yokozuna the first time we see him.
Yes,
What? Okay.
yes. No, yeah,
He
you're
body
right, you're
slammed
right.
Yokozuna the first time we see him. Um, yeah, if you're gonna have Jeff Jarrett in the ring with him, that's fine. But I think he needs to win, and he needs to win in convincing fashion. And everything you're doing does this guy no favors. And you kind of had something. I think you had something special with Ahmed Johnson if you protected him and took care of him. But when you put him out there, same thing I say with like Wardlow or Hook or fucking WCW did this with people. The Renegade. If you put these guys out there and you let them expose their weaknesses, they're not going to be over. And that's what
Hmm.
eventually happened with Ahmed Johnson.
Very well said. Todd Pettengill, he is with Diesel in the back. And Diesel says, "I'm like a 9-year-old kid. I don't know what I'm gonna do." I'm like, what does that mean? And he says, Todd brings up Vader, and Diesel's like, Vader has to prove himself. And it's, last time I checked, it's not Vader time. It's Big Daddy Cool time. And he goes, "Also, I've got no issues with Undertaker, okay? I've got no issues with the Undertaker." So, Big Daddy Cool showing a little bit more character ever since he's lost his belt, but
Yeah,
it's
he's more
just a
like a
little too
NWO. He's more like NWO Kevin Nash than Diesel. So
yeah, which I like, but it's just sad because it's a little too late, you know?
I know, but
We're gonna go to
I
yeah.
think Vince thought Vince thought the idea is to make him like a happy-go-lucky baby face, and that wasn't the move. And I think they
No,
realized you're right. They realized a little bit too little, too late. And at this point, probably Kevin Nash is taking phone calls with Easy E, Eric Bischoff behind Vince's back. So
easy, easy. Yeah. Let's go to match number 2, a match we did kind of allude to a little bit. Well, a team we alluded to. It is for the tag team titles. The Bonnie Donnas, Skip and Zip, which is Chris Candido and Dr. Tom Pritchard, no longer a
Mhm.
body Donna. No, no longer a heavenly body, but he's a body Donna. And he's where they come out
Mhm.
with Sunny, who's still, even though she just did this sexy thing in the beginning, she's still doing this annoying fitness valet gimmick
Look,
against
she looks great this match.
yeah.
Some of those camera shots were like unbelievable. When they showed her upper skirt, I was like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. They're gonna be facing the tag team champions, the Smoking Gun. Skip and Billy Gunn will start the match. Both guns get dumped out early, but the guns are able to outsmart the Body Donnas, and the Body Donnas get sent outside, and the guns are left standing. Zip gets in there with Bart Gun, and Junior makes a Plastic Man reference. And I was like, this guy knows who Plastic Man is? Is he must be
I
like a
mean,
nerd
there was
or
a
something.
cartoon in the early '80s. Maybe he watched it.
Oh.
Maybe he would like put the TV on early to get to watch Superstars because he used to back in the day because it's taped. He would sit at home Saturday mornings and watch the shows and give notes. Like you know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So maybe like he would put it on early and he'd sit and watch Plastic Man and then watch Superstars.
Because like Plastic Man is not a well-known DC character.
No, but I was thinking it had a cartoon on Channel 5 around the same
Yeah,
time
yeah.
that
So no,
and
but
Channel
my
9. I think
point
he
is,
was also on Channel 9 that cartoon. So
yeah,
that's
no,
why he knows it.
my point was is that like it's crazy how
Yeah.
he references an obscure DC character. If it was like Batman, Superman, I get it, but he was like Plastic Man, and even Mr. Perfect's like Plastic Man. Like, how do you know Plastic Man? It's a little funny thing I noticed.
You know what his other favorite cartoon is that he's like a big fan of, and he wanted to make Neville this Mighty Mouse. He likes Mighty Mouse.
I can see how he likes Mighty Mouse. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I heard that he wanted to make Neville like a Mighty Mouse kind of like character. Yeah.
Yeah.
If
Be funny. His
you
like favorite Marvel character is Night Thrasher. He like just likes these weird, obscure.
yeah, yeah, imagine. I like
Plastic
Rain.
Man and
You know,
Night Thrasher, pal. Those are.
if if only he watched more cartoons, maybe he wouldn't have done the bad thing. Who knows?
Yeah.
Um, but anyways, going back to this match, the guns are noticeably bigger, both bigger than the Body Donnas. Um, and they're also faster than the Donnas. It's not like the other way. You know, usually when the guy's smaller, they're
Mhm.
faster. They're not. The guns are bigger and faster than the Donnas. And so they're just outpacing them. So Sonny has to get on the apron, which is the shot they probably showed, I think, that you're referring to. And she gets knocked off the apron. It was kind of Billy Gunn's response. He was the one responsible for this, and he's a good guy. So he's like, "Oh, I feel bad. I knocked this woman off the apron." So he goes out to check on her, and the body down is a sneak attack. Billy Gunn. Skip tries to get that. Skip back gets back in the ring with Billy Gunn, and he tries to get onto the top rope, but he like messes up and he slips off, and you can hear people laughing at him.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
here's the thing, man. I was watching this match, and I like Chris Candido, but his offense looks just weak. He has like terrible looking offense. It doesn't look strong at all. And
I mean, he
um,
wasn't. He's not a WWE guy to me. Like he
he's
just
not. He's
and,
not.
and um and the Smoking Guns. You're right. They're bigger. Billy Gunn I've seen Billy Gunn in real life back in the day, and Billy Gunn's a massive motherfucker when you see him.
Yeah.
And the guns, I think both guns. You said they look bigger. I think they're like getting ready. I think maybe Bart and Billy. one of them knows like I want something more out of this than what we're
Yeah.
doing, and I think
Hmm.
they're trying to get in shape to impress Vince. I didn't hate this match. I just don't think the more I see Chris Candido, because everyone talks about he was like a guy that Vince missed the boat on. And I think Vince caught the right boat. Like he didn't miss the boat. He saw the boat, and I don't know. Yeah, you're right. The offense by the body Adonis isn't believable. They look like idiots too.
Yeah. So Bart Gunn, he cleans up, and then but Skip breaks up the cover, and then the Guns hit their sidewinder finisher, but Sonny distracts the referee. Um, Skip, however, still can't get the win, and then the body Donnas they try to double suplex Bart when Billy spears Zip, and then Bart basically cradles Skip to win. C minus. This was a not a good tag team match. I think it exposed, for me, exposed Skip. That you're right, he was not a WWF level wrestler at this point. He's also pudgy. He's not even in shape.
He's got like a Taz body. He gets listen
Yeah.
when we see him in ECW. Well, Paul Hayden books him like he's like fucking the next Ric Flair, which was weird. But when he goes to ECW, he's a lot better and it's a little bit more believable his character. But yeah, the right team won. When I'm watching it, I forgot who won. I'm like, I hope they don't have the body Adonis win. The right team won, but yeah, the match stunk. But honestly, like, I mean, the highlight going like thinking back to being a horny little kid, the highlight is Sonny. I mean, that's the whole reason to have this match is Sonny.
Yeah. Sonny was the best part, one of the best parts in this match. So now we're gonna come to the part where we see Junior's insecurities. We get the billionaire Ted War
Oh,
Room
this was fucking this was worse than I
segment.
remember.
Yeah, where yeah, it was. It was worse than I remember when I was a kid. Um,
Hmm.
where it would, what also felt? It felt longer than when I remember too. I
Yeah,
don't remember them being this long, but I guess it was long. It
it
to me
just
it
seemed.
felt long.
It seems like very like it's not funny. It seems very sour grapes. It's very very sour grapes, and it's not even like. Well, we'll recap it, and I'll give you my thoughts.
Yeah. So basically, they're billionaire Ted is like Ted Turner. He's in his war room, which is like a conference room, and he's like talking about I can't compete with WWF. I had to buy some of their WWF generational stars because they got that's what they're. This whole thing is to promote that because he's got
Mhm.
Scheme Gene, Mean Gene Okerlund. He's got all old man Hulk Hogan. He's got an old man Macho Man,
Macho
and they're
Man.
talking about they're being too old. They're too old. We need WWF also younger guys. And he goes, I need to get me some of these WWF generation stars. And to Ted Turner's credit, he will get them at
Well,
the end.
the thing about Vince, which was like, is that Ted Turner really didn't give a shit about this war. He just wanted. He just said, just make sure wrestling's on the air. It was
Yes.
his war was really with Eric Bischoff. His ego can't admit
Yes.
the real battle was with Bischoff. It wasn't with Ted Turner.
Yes. Yes. Ted
That's like
Turner.
that's like Triple H now rallying against Shad Khan. It's like that's not the guy that gives a shit about him.
Exactly.
It's Tony.
It's when the Giants play the Cowboys, they're not playing the owner.
Yeah.
They're playing the Cowboys, and if they got a problem with the Cowboys, they've got a problem with the
Mhm.
coach. They don't have a
Yeah.
problem with the owner. The owner just owns it. That's what Ted Turner. He just owns it. The problem with that's see, you guys understand when you're the owner, just be the owner. Don't be the player coach, which is what sometimes happens in wrestling.
Especially with
Actually,
Tony Khan.
That will be WCW's downfall a little bit, in a little sense.
But
Anyway,
the thing about it is you can see Vince Eagle because Vince thinks he's on equal footing with Ted Turner. Ted Turner
oh yeah, but he's not.
at
Yeah,
at the time, Ted Turner is dealing with so many different business enterprises, so many different deals that Vince could never comprehend. Vince could not start CNN. Vince could not like buy like movie studios and do mergers and stuff. He did one merger and got fucking exposed as a predator. Um, and so it's just like, dude, you're not at war with Ted Turner, and this is just it's so fucking pathetic. It's so
it's
fucking pathetic.
it's very pathetic. Um, so we get a recap of the Goldust Razor Ramon
Oh wait,
issue.
wait, 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 wait,
Yes,
wait, wait. Okay. I have more points. I'm sorry. I thought you were
no, it's
still
okay,
recapping.
Yeah,
The thing that really pissed me off about this segment, and the thing that if I'm a viewer in '96, I think these did a lot to get people to watch WCW just as much as anything else that WCW was doing. They
yeah,
show Ahmed Johnson and someone else do like these kind of shitty moves, and they have Macho Man be like, "Oh, I can't do those." And I'm like, bro, Macho Man was doing better shit
Mm.
Fucking a week ago at Starcade
Oh
than the
no,
moves they're showing.
it was they were doing top rope moves, high flying stuff, and they
But
asked Macho Man if he could do it, and he said he can't. He was known for coming off the top.
dude, his finisher is he comes off the top. That's all he's
Yeah,
been doing the whole time.
exactly, exactly. That's
So
so
it's like
stupid.
it comes across very disingenuous. It comes across because you're saying calling these guys old, and it's like I'm 15 at the time. I just turned 15. When I was 12, 11, I was really into that's not that long ago. And it just comes across like, bro, like you're so fucking pathetic. And you know that you don't have a roster as good as WCW. And it's just I really it annoyed me more. It annoyed me so much now because it's like, fuck you for turning on Macho Man. Go fuck yourself. I don't know.
And I agree with you. I think I wouldn't be surprised if these little stupid videos of Billionaire Ted did push some people over to watch WCW because I think I don't think I don't think I knew like Macho Man was there first until they told me. You know,
Yeah.
like you're letting people know that Macho Man and Hulk Hogan are there. And there are still a lot of Macho Man Hulk Hogan fans, even to this day. You don't think they're gonna be like, "Oh shit, Macho Man's there." They're gonna turn in. That's basically, I think, what could have happened.
And you're airing this video before you do this stupid Goldust shit. And I'm just like, you order this pay per view and you're being told about Macho Man, Macho Man, Macho Man. You're like, well, you know what? I'd rather see Macho Man than Goldust. Sorry, you know.
Yeah. Speaking of Goldust, that is the next thing. Goldust and Razor Ramon. We get a recap of their issues with Goldust being obsessed with Razor Ramon. He shows the picture, the love pictures he has of Razor Ramon, the tattoo he got of Razor Ramon, and Razor Ramon has had enough of this, and he attacks Goldust in the back, which is going to lead to our third match. It is for the Intercontinental title, in fact. Uh, so Goldust is coming out. It's going to be Goldust versus Razor Ramon. There's glitter coming from the ceiling, and Junior he goes like, "Goldust is coming from the ceiling." I'm like, how do you not know that Goldust is not gonna come from the ceiling? He's gonna just walk out.
No,
Like,
no, it's not glitter. He's calling that gold dust, golden
oh,
dust.
oh, golden dust. Oh, okay. I thought he was saying Goldust is coming from the ceiling, and I was like,
No, no,
what's
no.
he?
He was calling the dust falling to gold dust. That in his mind, he's like, gold dust will rain gold dust when he comes
Yeah.
out. That's my
Okay, that makes sense. So Goldust walks out with a unnamed woman who is actually his wife at the time. It was wife,
Marlena.
right?
It's her
Yeah,
first
Marlena.
appearance.
Yeah, his wife, who used to be in charge of the York Foundation in WCW, and an usher. I remember this usher guy. And
They got rid of that guy real fast.
I thought this usher guy was going to become a wrestler, kind of like the Road Dog did. That's what I used to think. He was going to be like the roadie. You know how like roadie started off as just like a guy who's a roadie, and then he became a wrestler.
Yeah.
That's what I always think the
I think
character
it
was.
was good to get rid of the usher and put in Marlena.
Yeah,
I think Marlena fixes a lot of the problems, but we'll get into that.
yeah. And Razor Mo, who's a champion. As we this match starts, we already see a gay dust sign in the fans, and the match is slow to begin because Goldust is just acting very gay in the corner, and Razor Mount throws a toothpick at his face, and that causes Goldust to just act more gay. I don't know how to say it. He's just like moving around and touching his body the whole time, right? Razor Ramon, he starts with some arm wrenches, some huge arm wrenches, and then they do a stand and switch. And when
Mhm.
you do the stand and switch, Goldust used to do this, and I used to love this move. I think this is a great move. There's a stand and switch, and then Goldust starts rubbing his hands all over Razor Ramon's body, and Razor Ramon's like, "What the freak?" And he like freaks out, and Mr. Perfect's like, "I can't believe what I just saw." And Mr. Perfect says maybe Goldust already got what he wanted out of this match. I was a big fan of that move. I think that's a great like if you in terms of wrestling. Remember,
Mhm.
wrestling is all fake. It's a great psychological move. I was always a big fan of that move. Me personally,
Yeah, yeah. Dude, this stuff it
I
just so like wouldn't fly today. You
yeah,
know
it
what?
wouldn't fly today, but
It's
it
so
was
like fucking like the feud is this guy's gay, he's attracted to me, so I need to beat the shit out of him. Like, how dare he be? I don't know. It's just like, woo, you couldn't do this. Couldn't do this today.
So Goldust, he ends up slapping Razor Ramon really hard, and Mr. Perfect says, "Oh, maybe he likes it rough." And then then Razor Ramon returns a slap to Goldust, um, and then including another slap on Goldust's ass. But Goldust likes the ass slap,
He's like,
and
yeah,
people
daddy.
are just everything that Goldust is doing. People are just like reacting to it, just like, "Oh my god, oh my god!" It's just like you can hear the murmuring in the crowd. Goldust goes outside, and then if one fan screams "bag" right to his face as he's walking around, and then Goldust hides behind Marlena, and then Goldust blows Razor Ramon a kiss, and Razor Ramon, like, they get back in the ring, he blows him a kiss, and Razor Ramon just sends him back out the ring, and this gets fans to cheer. But Goldust once again hides behind Marlena. So this time Razor Ramon actually picks up Marlena and he moves her physically, but this allows Goldust to attack Razor Ramon on the outside, beat him on the outside, and send him back into the ring. And start beating him in the ring, including a slingshot back suplex. So I thought this was really well done. He's acting all cowardly and weird, but then once he finds his opening, it is all
Mhm.
business. Like Goldust can wrestle.
Yeah,
Um,
well, this is the thing I think that makes the character work now with today with the addition of Marlena. It's that he doesn't actually want to fuck you. He knows that that freaks you out, so
mhm.
he's going to use that to his advantage. And now in Marlena, it's like, oh, this guy actually might be banging this chick, and he's just fucking with everybody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he's
Uh,
fucking with you so that you're off
he
your
could beat.
game, so he can beat you easier. Yes.
Yeah, and then he can win the belt. Yeah. So that's the thing. When Marlena comes out, and then at the end, I'm jumping ahead, when they like kind of do this almost makeout session, it's like, oh, this
Yeah.
guy was just fucking with you the whole time. He doesn't actually want to fuck you. He just wanted to get into your head so you win the belt.
Yeah.
And that's the whole match. That makes this match work a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. There's even a cool scene, a cool moment, which I really liked, where Razor Ramon was draped on the ropes, and Marlena like goes and grabs his face, and it looks like she's about to blow him a kiss, but instead she blows this gold glitter, this gold dust into Razor's eyes. It blinds him a little bit. I thought it was a cool spot.
Yeah.
Razor does try to fight back, but with the thing in his eyes and stuff, and he's hurt. Gold just starts beats him even more. Razor Ramon, he almost goes out in a sleeper, but he low blows Goldust behind the ref. So Razor's realizing, I have to fight fire with fire. You're gonna fight dirty.
Yeah.
Guess what? I'm gonna have to start fighting dirty. And Razor Ramon starts fighting back, but then Marlena, who's still unnamed at this point, nobody knows who she is. She enters the ring and distracts the referee as 1 2 3 Kid enters, and he hits a top rope spin kick on Razor's head for Goldust to win. After Goldust wins the title, Goldust and this woman, they don't just kiss, they rub tongues together, right? They tongue kiss each other, like
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
stick out tongues and they start playing with it. This was a very entertaining match. I give this a B plus. If you want to know what Goldust was like, this is the one match you need to watch. This was excellent.
This is a really good match that gets over the Goldust gimmick. It adjusts it a little bit. I think if they don't bring out Marlena, I think I think Vince would have been told probably you have to stop doing Goldust on TV because remember he's on Saturday morning cartoon. They have Goldust on Saturday morning doing this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And do you have to kind of do this thing where okay, he's not some gay guy who we're gonna beat up because he's gay. He's the guy who plays mind games, which is the way to be. Yeah, pretty good match. And man, hey, listen, Dustin Rhodes. I mean, listen, there's only 3 titles back then, and Goldust has one of the titles. It's Goldust, Bret Hart, and the Smoking Guns. So that says a lot for how Vince is clearly happy with Dustin Rhodes right now.
Yeah. So after this, we have a Dr. Jeffrey Unger, who gives an update on Shawn Michaels, and he says, "Yeah, Shawn Michael is okay to wrestle. I'm not sure if he should wrestle 29 other guys, but he's okay to wrestle." By the way, if you're
Oh, thank
wondering,
God! I
yeah,
was so worried.
yeah, if you're wondering, by the way, this guy is a real doctor, and he actually is still in practice today. He owns actually his own a private consulting group, the Unger Primary Care, which is located in another wrestling related area, Rancho Cucamonga. That's where
Oh,
his
I've been there.
yeah, that's where his place is. I wonder if he's worked with the Bucks. Um,
Maybe maybe he's got the PWG and been the house doctor. I don't know. Yeah,
yeah,
maybe the Bucks go to him. Like, you the guy that worked to help Shawn Michaels? Can you help us?
yeah. You the guy who helped Shawn Michaels get his smile back?
Yeah.
Now comes one of my favorite parts about the Royal Rumble. We're gonna get promos from different individuals to give the different personalities. First, we get Owen Hart, who says he's gonna be the next winner, and he's also gonna end Shawn Michaels' career. Then we get Jake Roberts, who is making his return to WWF in the Royal Rumble, and he says everyone's gonna get a taste of the snake of him. We get Jerry Lawler. Jerry Lawler said he's gonna win because he's the king and Royal Rumble's royalty. Barry Horowitz says he's the underdog and he's going to win, and he pats himself in the back. Vader with Jim Cornette standing there, and Jim Cornette says he's going to release Vader to the rest of this WWF as Vader starts smashing the locker. And then Shawn Michaels, he says he's going to win it again, and this time he's going to become a champion at WrestleMania because it's his destiny. I will tell you this: if on this alone, I would give this promo package where everyone's doing promos an A because it really gives you a taste of all the different characters in W. I love it when they do stuff like this. They don't do it anymore, right?
Yeah, well, they weren't doing it for a few years on the main show. They were kind of, if they did, it was kind of half-assed. This was way better. This reminded me of the late '80s, early '90s style packaging. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. I wish they would do stuff like this again. Still, I love it when they do this. So before the Rumble, Junior tells us Hunter he actually lost in the free for all, and he's going to be coming out first. And Duke the Dumpster Drosty, who beat Hunter, is going to come out last. So we already know number one. We already know number 30. Mr. Perfect. He says he picks Vader to win this whole thing. And they also show you a recap of Hunter losing at the free for all, which is I think was like a pre-show. That's what it was.
It was the pre-show. It was their pre-show. Like, do they do it now? And they would have a match. They would have like one match on the free for all.
Yeah.
But you know what? To their credit, when they were doing the free for all in this era, they tried to make those matches mean something. Like WrestleMania 12 has the finals of the tag tournament, which annoys me that it's not on the main show, which is where the Body Adonis win the tag belt. So it was like pre-show matches that mean something, which they don't really do anymore.
Yeah, because I mean, even this pre-show match has implications. It determines who's
Yeah.
first and who's 30.
Yeah.
Where would the pre-show be shown? On USA Network?
No, it would be on the preview channel.
Ah, okay.
I remember the channel that would just show all the different all what's on TV. We show on that channel, or if you were the pay-per-view, you would tune in a half hour early. So I ordered right on 96. Oh wait, if you want to come at 7:30, watch the free fall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good to know. So let's go to the Royal Rumble match, which is the fourth match of this pay-per-view. First one out, Hunter. Hearns Helmsley. Number 2 is Godwin, Henry Godwin. Hunter's eternal
Thank God
enemy.
this feud is continuing.
Yeah, Godwin has a new theme too. He has a new, his more babyface theme. They start fighting even before his song ends because it's so nice. Funny part was when Henry Godwin is beating up Hunter, he does the "Soo-wee" call, and Mr. Perfect says, "Hey, I think I see 3 girls in the front row move."
That's funny.
Mr. Perfect was so funny on commentary. God, he was good.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3
good.
is Bob Backlund. Number 4. Oh, by the way, I'm just gonna list off the important things that's happened. Feel free to chime in whenever you want.
No, yeah, we always do the Rumbles. Totally.
Yeah. Number 4 is Jerry the King Lawler, who gets the slot bucket, and they're all 3 heels are trying to triple team on Henry Godwin to get the slop on him, but he fights off the triple team, and they all go to the outside of the floor, and he gets his slop back, and he throws the slop all over Jerry the King Lawler's back when he's on the floor. It's a fun little spot for people at home.
Mm-hmm.
Number 5, Bob Holly. Number 6,
who's in the match for a while.
Yeah, he was in the match for a long time. Number 6 is Mabel. Number 7.
Already, by the way, already we're only 6 people in, and you already feel like I'm not saying these guys like long term were stars, but it feels like so much more star power than the year before.
Yeah, but it's also doesn't feel like I'm not
But at
excited
the
for
time,
any of these 6 guys at this
but
moment.
but at the time, all 6 guys were like important on in the show in the era. So it's not like jobbers are in the ring. It's like guys who
Yes.
like have storylines that matter are in the ring.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Number 7 is the returning Jake Roberts, who
Well,
immediately pulled.
that's another big deal. That's a huge deal. Yeah.
Yeah, but this kind of like says something because he was outshining all 6 guys as soon as he came in. Um,
Yeah, because people want to see him. They care about him.
yeah. As soon as he gets in the ring, he pulls out the snake, and then it's a big anaconda this time, and then he pulls Jerry the King Lawler to the center, and he puts the snake on Jerry Lawler. Say what you will about Jerry Lawler, but he knows his role, and that he's like, I'm a bumbling heel, and all the goofy shit needs to happen to me because people enjoy it. He gets a slop thrown on him. He gets a snake put on him. It's fantastic, you know.
Good stuff. I
Good.
like it.
Number 8, Dory Funk, which was like, what the fuck? Why is Dory Funk here? A very
Yeah,
old Dory Funk.
we haven't seen him since WrestleMania 2. The only
Yeah.
thing I can think of is that Vince owed a favor to the Funk family, and he was like, "Okay, you can be in the Rumble." It's like,
No, I actually think there's another reason why I think Dory Funk is here. I'll tell you later when I get to it. Um,
okay. Well,
People
also,
start training.
Dory Funk does wind up training a lot of the '98 rookies, so maybe they were talking about doing some training.
Yeah, people start chanting for DDT as we see Jerry the King Lawler start going. He's going to be hiding under the ring for the majority of this match. Number 9 is Yokozuna, who comes out and he tosses Bob Backlund out for the first elimination.
Hmm.
And then Mabel and Yoko, the two biggest guys in the ring, they start going at it, and they accidentally squash Henry Godwin in the corner, which was an awesome spot because, and even the commentator they were saying, I didn't even realize Henry Godwin was behind them, and he's a big dude, but that's how big these two guys are that even Godwin gets covered by them. Number
Yeah,
10.
and you know what? It's great to see Yokozuna in the Rumble again.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think someone like Yokozuna needs to always be in the Rumble because it's just like a great visual, you know?
Hmm.
Because when
Hmm.
you see like the challenges, someone is gonna have to throw you over the top rope. Like,
Hmm.
how are you gonna lift this big motherfucker out, you know?
Yeah.
Um, Number 10 is 1-2-3 Kid, who gets chased around by Razor Ramon because he just cost Razor the Intercontinental title.
Yeah.
But the officials send Razor to the back, saying, "Hey, come on,
The, o-
go."
the other cool thing about this Rumble, everyone has a story. Like people have storylines going on. Again, like it didn't feel like that way in this last 2 Rumbles, but this Rumble, everyone feels like they're involved in something, and it's crisscrossing with the Rumble.
Yes. By the
Hmm.
way, while this was happening, while Razor Ramon's chasing around the 1-2-3 Kid, Jake Roberts actually throws out Henry Godwin for the second elimination. Everybody misses it, even
Hmm.
commentators. Number 11 is Takao Omori from All Japan Pro Wrestling. This explains why Dory Funk is in there. I'm assuming they had some kind of agreement because Dory Funk and Mari are both at this time in All Japan Pro Wrestling, so they may have this kind of weird working agreement because this is like the year Junior is doing a lot of workings with Japanese promotions. He had all those Joshis here for a bit and stuff. So
Yeah, and I
I don't
think
know.
because, and I know Vader wanted to do stuff with All Japan, and first Vince said yes, then he said no, and I know he sends Undertaker to some shows over there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's because he's low on talent, right?
I think he also like WCW as New Japan. He needs to make a contact with Japan. So
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense. All right. By the way, Amari, he goes right after Mabel, and he actually even drops Mabel, which was I thought kind of impressive. That was a cool spot they gave him.
maybe
Um,
that was the deal. All Japan's like, we'll see this guy because he's got to drop someone good. They're like, we'll give Mabel because we're getting sick of that guy anyway. So
yeah, because they're probably just they're just gonna take a couple pictures and then put it in the thing,
Mhm.
in the magazines. Jake Roberts, he drops Yokozuna to a big pop. Um, and then number 12 is Savio Vega, who also comes in. He also drops King Mabel with a spin heel kick. So Mabel's just bumping for everybody. Yokozuna dumps Mabel out for the third elimination.
Hmm.
This is actually going to be Mabel's last appearance in WWF for a while, him and Mo,
Yeah,
because they're both going to get fired soon after this.
and
Um,
he comes back as Viscera. Yes.
yeah, this was all because um, he actually legit injured Undertaker's face and broke his orbital bone.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone thinks it's from the leg drops that they filmed, but it actually wasn't. It was a house show, and he supposedly punched him in the face by accident or hit him and just broke the bone. And you can't mess with the top guys, and that's why he got fired,
Especially
I guess.
if they're trying to make you a top guy, because I really thought in my mind, I thought they gave up on Mabel after that SummerSlam match with Diesel. They tried for 6 more months. It's not happening.
Yeah. Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah. So yeah, Mabel's out third. Amari tries to dump Jake Roberts, who reverses it, and Amari gets dumped out fourth. Then number 13 is Vader. Vader comes in. Holly
Vader
attacks him.
time.
Holly starts attacking him. Vader is no selling anything Holly is doing to him, which I thought was hilarious. He's just taking hits like and he's like nothing. And then Savio Vega takes out Dory Funk for the fifth elimination. Number 14 was Doug Gilbert from the USWA.
Oh, this guy, like, I didn't hear the name and they don't have it on the screen yet. And I'm like, who the? And then finally the announcer say it. I'm like, Doug Gilbert. Like, bro, I would have like had someone dress up like Doink and shoved them out there instead of Doug Gilbert. But this must have been another favor for someone.
Well, yeah, it kind of is. Kind of is. Mr. Perfect. It's funny you say this because when he comes out, Mr. Perfect also goes, "Who's that?" Just like everybody else, "Who is that?" And
Yeah.
then they have to tell you who it is. And when they tell you who it is, like when Junior tells Mr. Perfect who it is, he goes, "Oh, Doug Gilbert. You know, I once tag team with his brother Eddie Gilbert in the WWF," which I thought was funny. That was his highlight. So if you guys are wondering this whole Doug Gilbert thing, the USWA, USWA was like a Memphis promotion that Jerry
Yeah.
the
That
King Law,
Jerry Lawler was involved in. Yeah.
yeah, and Jerry the King Lawler worked in. This is actually where I think they discovered Mabel and Mo because they actually
Hmm.
were originally in the USWA. So they have this like work exchange thing with them. So I think to do a favor is one of their guys has to be in the Royal Rumble. By the way, Doug Gilbert, he had a Freddy Krueger gimmick in the USWA, and he won a battle royal to be in the Royal Rumble. So he won a USWA battle royal to be in the Royal Rumble.
You know,
However, you
keep
can't
going.
use a Freddy Krueger gimmick. That's why he just comes out as
Yeah.
Doug Gilbert.
You know what would be cool actually at Hard to Kill? That's the January pay-per-view for TNA. If they did like they did like a four-way match or like not a battle royal, but something, and the winner gets to be in the men's Royal Rumble.
Um, the only problem with that it will make TNA look so bush league.
But the guy that they could say they could add the stipulation that if you win, so let's say it's Tommy Dreamer, right? Tommy
Uh,
Dreamer wins the Royal Rumble. At WrestleMania, he could challenge for the TNA title. He doesn't have to challenge for the three WWE titles. So he could be like, I want to beat you, Jeff Jarrett or Dolph Ziggler, at WrestleMania. So when I win, I'm challenging you. Like that, you can also count. You can also challenge for a TNA title.
um, oh, like if you win, no,
Like
no one's gonna.
if a TNA guy wins the Rumble, they can like you can be like I'm challenging Cody, but you could also challenge the TNA champion, and you have a TNA match at WrestleMania.
Yeah, I guess. You know what? Like, yeah, it wouldn't be like I understand what you're saying, and like I don't think it's a bad idea, but it would make them look kind of like everybody knows TNA like is nowhere on the league of WWE
Mm-hmm.
and wants they're trying to work with them to get that rub, but it's like nobody's saying what's obvious, and if you
I know, but
do that, it's extra obvious. I think.
I know, but but like I don't know. It's just like I don't know. I think it would add. I don't know. It would add something interesting. I think you should have people from other. It is when other people from other companies show up at the Rumble. I mean, not fucking. Doug Gilbert. But when real people like it makes it feel like a big deal. Like this is not just for W. This is an open invitation to everyone because everyone wants the main event WrestleMania. You know.
Yeah, but I also wouldn't it also take away from the surprise factor?
I mean, if there's one slot, you can also have a surprise slot. Like I don't know, like maybe like you have someone, but then you have like I don't know, like you have like Zack Saber Jr. show up from New Japan and just shock everyone that he's in it.
You know what would be really shocking this year is if they actually get someone from AEW in. I don't think, and nobody would see it coming, and it would be a whole big what the fuck moment, you know?
But I would do that, but the AEW guy has to get to the final four. I
Yeah.
think that would be a big
Yes.
deal. I
Yes.
would I would have it either be I'm gonna go Hangman Page or Swerve Scott. No, it's got to be someone with beef with fucking Punk. Punk's alone in the ring. He's in the spot where he gets everybody out. It's just him by himself in the ring. It gets to zero and Hangman Page walks out. I think that would be huge. But then Hangman Page has to be in there until the final four. He doesn't have to be like the final three or final two. He's got to be in the final four.
Do you think I mean obviously realistically what we're doing is it'll never happen, but do you think realistically if they could get somebody from New Japan Pro Wrestling. Okay, actually how about this? They got a right now WBF, WWE, they got a relationship with Noah. Is there anybody from Noah that could be in the Rumble that you would
I don't
you
know. I don't know who's in
oh,
Noah, but I could see them putting in somebody from Noah. Yeah.
well, how about somebody from let's just say they got a chance to work with New Japan Pro Wrestling? Anybody from New Japan Pro Wrestling right now that would be in the Rumble that you would be like holy shit for?
I mean, the internet would be like, holy shit for Zack Saber Jr.,
Hmm.
but everyone else like no one really knows anymore. Like they haven't like, is there a guy named Gabe Kidd in there or something? No,
Yeah. Yes, there is.
nobody knows
But
that
yeah,
guy. Zack Saber Jr. The internet and the fucking wrestling reporters would start ejaculating on themselves, but I don't know if the crowd would care if he walked out. There's, you know what I'm saying?
is there anybody in TNA right now
Jeff Hardy would
besides
get it. Jeff Hardy.
oh, if you got the Hardy Boys back in there? Yeah, that's true.
If Jeff Hardy walked out unannounced at the Rumble, I think the place would go bananas.
Yeah, I think that's a good
Yeah.
point. That is a good point. The place will go bananas. Who else is there right now?
Yep. Uh, Dolph Ziggler, his brother, who's my friend, can't. I'm friends with him now. I can't say anything. Moose. No one cares about Moose.
No, but if they actually got if they also got Dolph Ziggler, that would be a big deal too, actually. Um,
Yeah, I think Jeff Hardy means more to people than Dolph. Jeff Hardy.
yeah,
People have
100%,
a
100%.
people have a connection to Jeff Hardy, like
Because people love
especially
drugs.
when he's in WWE. People have a connection to that. Like
Yeah, because people love drugs. That's why.
I
All right.
know people love damaged white boys. People just
Yeah,
love them.
they do. All right. So let's get back. Sorry about the tangent, guys, but we're gonna get back into this. Jake Roberts in the Rumble DDT's Savio Vega, which gets a nice big pop, and then uh, he grabs Savio Vega, and I'll be honest, you. There was a point where Vader was just lost in this Rumble. He didn't know what he was doing.
This was not, especially the way he gets eliminated. This was not a good showcase of
Yeah,
Vader,
when
and
he even
I
even when, yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I don't think it was meant to be. I think already Vince was like, I'm bringing this guy in to make Sean look good. That's all I'm doing. I don't think Vader was ever brought in to shine or become the Vader that he was in WCW. I think he's basically there as a fat tub of shit for Shawn Michaels to like throw out and look
So
good.
yeah, when Vader comes in, first he no sells Bob Holly's moves, but
Mm-hmm.
then he's just walking around aimlessly in the ring for a while. Like he doesn't know what to do. And Jake Roberts, to his credit, after he DDT Savio Vega and he grabs Vega again, you can see him signal to Vader, like, dude, you gotta do your thing now. Like do it now. You see him signal it and he set himself up. So then Vader clotheslines Jake Roberts who does this ridiculous like runs to the ropes, bumps outside the ring for the sixth elimination. Does
Yeah.
Vader a huge favor by doing that because he's a
The
fan
one thing, the
favorite.
one thing that annoyed me
Yeah,
about the Rumble because Jake always said like, I don't let anyone get up from the DDT. Like he always says on podcasts and stuff. He goes, once I hit the DDT, it's over. Fucking, that's why it's such a big deal. Undertaker got up for my DDT. He hits Savio Vega the DDT, then Savio Vega just gets back up and is in the match for like 20 more minutes.
Yeah. At this point, yeah, it's like a move everybody's been using. 15th elimination is a debuting a SWAT team, squat team #1 member. What is God? This I know you said this is a good Rumble, but some parts of it's like not good.
I mean, these guys were not good.
Yeah, Vader Gorilla Plus is Doug Gilbert out for the 7th elimination. Then he just
Thank God.
immediately tosses out squat team #1 for the 8th elimination. And then guess what?
Were these the Kongs? Remember WCW had like the Kong team and that at the end of
No, these were
'93?
not. I don't think these were the cons.
These were two different fat tubs of shit. All right.
Yeah, I think these were. I don't think they were ever done. They were the
By
headhunters.
the, by
They're
the
Puerto
way,
Rican.
Triple H still in the ring. Remember, he was buried. So he was buried. Didn't believe in him.
Why did he work with them? Why did these guys work with them? I have no idea why
I
they're
think
working with
you
them.
know what, dude. I think you're seeing Doug Gilbert, you're seeing Dory Funk Jr., you're seeing these guys because he doesn't have that deep of a roster. Me personally, I would have dressed up somebody like Doink. I would have had the Brooklyn Brawler in there over some of these guys. But you know what? He's going to use that relationship with USWA to get The Rock ready to be The Rock. He's going to use the Old Japan relationship to get Taka Michinoku and Great Sasuke in there, I guess. So like,
no, those
whatever. He's making inroads in Japan, is what I'm saying. So he's using these spots to make deals, which he needs to do because he's losing the war. But there's more stars in this match than 95 by far.
Yeah. Number 16 is squat member #2.
Never
As he's
mind.
coming in, he faces off with squat #1, and both of them decide let's both get in the ring. So they both get in the ring, both squat team members, and they're two big fat guys, but they're short. They get in and they start facing off against Vader, and Vader just dumps the SWAT team #2 out for the 9th elimination as
I think
Yokozuna
that's why they
comes
were there to
in.
make Vader look good.
Yeah, they did make Vader look good. They made Yoko and Vader look good because they both got thrown
Yeah.
out. And then number 17 is Owen Hart. But as Owen Hart's coming out, Vader and Yokozuna, they start what do you call it? Double teaming Savio Vega, squashing him. These two big dudes. Number
This
18 is
was like
Shawn
I don't know if
Yeah.
you remember, but like in 1993, this was like a dream match because they were one was the WCW champ, one was the WWF champ. Like they were like,
And
and
they're
they were
two
like
big
two
dudes.
big fat slobs that were the champs. So like this is like a big deal.
Yeah. Number 18 is Shawn Michaels as Vader takes out Savio Vega for the 10th elimination. Then Vader and Yokozuna, they start going at it, blow for blow. And they start teetering on the ropes. And as they're doing that, Shawn Michaels eliminates
Yep.
both of them for the 11th and 12th elimination. And then he also Gorilla presses 1-2-3 Kid out for the 13th elimination. So Shawn Michaels already 3 eliminations in. It's pretty much as soon
And
as
that's why Vader was brought in. I don't know why you wouldn't have Vader last to the end. Like,
yeah.
I don't know why if you hire Vader. I mean, he does then go nuts, but getting dumped out by Shawn Michaels tells me everything I need to know about what Vince saw in Vader. So
Yeah. And then Vader and Yokozuna, they start getting into a shoving match on the floor. And then as Hakushi comes in for the 19th entry, Vader clobbers Yokozuna from the back, and he gets back in the ring and he starts attacking Shawn Michaels, and he even throws Shawn Michaels out. Then he throws Owen out. Then he throws Hunter out. Then he throws Bob Holly out, and Gorilla Monsoon gets in his face, and he's like, "Get the hell out of here! You're disrupting the Rumble." He tossed everybody out, even though it doesn't count because he was eliminated. So he spits on the floor and he leaves. So
you know
Vader,
what I would have done? You know what
what?
I would have done with Vader? This is what I would have done. I would have had the rings full. I wouldn't have had that stupid Duke Drosy Hunter match, right? The rings full. Number 30, it's Vader. They don't tell you ahead of time they sign Vader. Vader comes out. And Vader throws, and let's say there's like 10 guys in the ring. Vader throws all 9 guys out, including Diesel. And then it's him and Shawn. And then Shawn does the quick super kick to get Vader out. And then Vader like power bombs Shawn through a table, but Shawn still won the Rumble. and then like you suspend Vader because you suspend Vader, and then when it's time, you have Vader come back and fight Sean for the belt. Like that's what I would have done. I would have had Vader come out, just throw everyone out, and then it's just Vader and Sean alone in the ring.
Yeah, actually, that wouldn't be bad.
Mhm.
I would not be I would actually sounds like a better thing than what they did with Vader here.
Like you can even do like when Vader comes back and he starts beating the shit out of Sean. You can have Diesel in the aisle like hesitate and then come back in and help Sean a little bit to indicate that Diesel might turn on Sean down the road. But like, I don't know, like just throwing Vader out like that, it's just like, bro, you got someone that can make you a ton of money, and he made sure that did. And look, at the end of the day, he didn't need the money from Vader. He squashed Vader 2 years from now, and he became a billionaire. So what does it matter?
Yeah. So number 20 is Tatanka, and Shawn Michaels, out of his anger from frustration of what happened, he tosses Jim Cornette over the top rope.
That's
Um,
good.
Hakushi tries to jump over Owen Hart, who catches him and tosses Hakushi out for the 14th elimination. 21 is Aldo Montoya, and Mr. Perfect says he has a jong on the wrong, he has his jock on the wrong part of his body. So it's like,
Mm-hmm.
and then Shawn Michaels, he takes a breather outside, and then he pulls Jerry the King Lawler out from under the ring. Tatanka, he eliminates Aldo Montoya for the 15th elimination. And then Shawn Michaels punches Jerry the King Lawler, who takes a bump outside over the top rope to the floor for the 16th elimination, as Diesel comes in for the 22nd entry. Diesel tosses out Tatanka 17th, and he gets right into it with Shawn Michaels.
And that's it for
23rd.
Tatanka, by the way. We don't see him again on pay-per-view.
Ah, wow. Tatanka's out after this. A lot of people making their exits. Tatanka, Mabel, Mo.
Mm-hmm. The three
23
most
is
essential
Kama.
people in the company.
Yeah. 23 is Kama, who comes out to no reaction.
Mm-hmm.
24 is the Ringmaster, who takes out Bob Holly for the 18th elimination.
Steve Austin has entered the WWF.
Yes.
It's the Austin era has begun. By God.
25 is Barry Horowitz, as Diesel tosses Hunter out for the 19th elimination. He's in there for a while, but he does not even make the final
But
10.
he's the Iron Man of the Rumble, which I think is a very important spot for someone in his position right now.
Yes. Yes, it is. The Iron Man spot is a very important spot because it shows that number one thing it does show is that it shows that um, the man in charge has a lot of faith in you. You know,
Yeah.
right? Like he has enough faith in you that he wants you to be in there for a very long time. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Number 26 is Fatu, make no reaction. Um,
No, he was there to make a difference, brother.
oh yeah, yeah. Number 27 is Dr. Isaac Yankum. Um, Barry Horowitz gets eliminated over the top rope by Owen Hart for the 20th elimination. So there's 10 men. No, not yet, but there's going to be 10 men left. Owen Hart hits Shawn Michaels with an Inzaguri, and he goes to toss Shawn Michaels out. But as he's going to toss Shawn Michaels out, Diesel grabs Owen from behind and tosses Owen out for the 21st elimination. Um, what do you call it? The ringmaster clotheslines Shawn Michaels at this point, and then he starts mocking his pose, the Shawn Michaels pose, which I thought was really funny. Um,
That's funny.
yeah, 28 was Marty Jannetty, and he goes toe to toe with Shawn Michaels, and they
Yeah, that
clunk.
they have a little bit of interaction, which was fun.
Yeah, yeah, and they clunk heads and they both fall. I really like that. Even though Shawn Michaels is up here, Jannetty's down here, they didn't forget the history. The continuity is still there.
Yeah, it was fun. Great.
Yeah. 29 is Davey, the British Bulldog, and we see Diana sitting in the crowd with a new hairdo, watching on.
And
As
she's showing off her boobies. She's got like a tight shirt on.
yeah, and
He's like, I could be Sunny too.
yeah, she's trying to doll herself up. Yeah, it's a little too late. They should have done this 5 years ago. Uh, and Davey Boy Smith, by the way, he dumps Marty Jannetty out for the 22nd elimination. Fatu make a difference. Clotheslines the ringmaster out for the 23rd elimination. So Fatu is constantly taking out. Rikishi's constantly taking out Austin. Dr. Isaac Yankum, he clotheslines Fatu out for the 24th elimination. And
Oh
out
man, no more.
comes,
And that's it for Fatu for a while too.
yeah. And then out comes number 30, Duke the Dumpster Droese, as Shawn Michaels and Davey Boy Smith start fighting on the floor. And Owen Hart attacks Shawn Michaels from behind.
Jesus.
And Shawn Michaels gets back in the ring and he drop kicks Dr. Isaac Yankem out for the 25th elimination. And Diesel and Kama work together to eliminate Duke the Dumpster for the 26th elimination. And so we are down to our final four. Diesel starts teeing off with Kama while Shawn Michaels battles the Bulldog Davey Boy Smith. Shawn Michaels clotheslines Davey out for the 27th elimination, and Diesel
Damn.
pie faces Kama out for the 28th elimination.
Damn. Fucking Davey Boy Smith again getting screwed over by Shawn Michaels at the Rumble, Daddy.
Yeah. So we're down to our two, and Shawn Michaels super kicks Diesel out for the 29th elimination to win the Royal Rumble. Diesel is
Very,
pissed.
very fast elimination.
Yeah, it was pretty much he turns around and he gets kicked in the face. Diesel's mad. He attacks the Bulldog in the walkway, and then Doc Hendricks tries to talk to Diesel, who yells at him, and he gets back in the ring as Shawn Michaels mooning the crowd. Shawn Michaels is gyrating and he's acting gayer than
He's
Goldust.
about to pull. Dude, I watched this in the comedy Village green room because he has a TV and the Peacock on it, and I was watching with Nick Simmons and Eagle Witt, and Eagle was like, "Does this motherfucker about to show his dick? Why the fuck would he? Why the fuck would he show his dick? Why is he pulling down his pants?" And Nick Simmons was like, "I don't remember this," and then I was like, "I don't know what to tell you, bro. I don't know what to tell you. I guess he wanted to give Vince. Dude, that was so fucking weird."
Yeah, he's like stripping. He takes off something. It's like a jock or something, and then he pulls his pants down, and you can see he's mooning the crowd, but the camera shot is facing him, but he's clearly mooning the crowd.
But
And
dude,
then
like, it doesn't matter how good that match was. It doesn't matter like if I'm 15 and I'm sitting with again, I wasn't watching back then, but if I'm like a fucking teenage boy and I'm watching as my parents, like my sister, and this guy starts pulling down his fucking pants while dancing, you know how embarrassed I'd be. You know, like how they would look at you. They'd be like, "Why are you watching this? Like, why are you watching this? Like, what's wrong with you?" It's fun. Like, dude, it's so it was like these little things that like this is why no one was watching your show. It's like embarrassing to watch.
I wanted Diesel to kick his ass so bad.
I know, like just beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, for just acting like a goof, but instead they do their high five instead. Um, and that is it. I will say, to me, this was a B minus. It wasn't a bad Rumble. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad. B minus. What about you?
Listen, it was way better than the last three Rumbles. I don't know if you remember them. Nothing happened in those fucking Rumbles, and they stunk. This one had a lot of action. This one had some fun interactions, and it's just listen. It's historic because it's the first pay per view with Austin,
Yeah,
and I enjoyed it for what it was. It could have been better. It could have been worse. I'll say this: for the roster in 1996, is the best you're gonna do.
yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Taker, he's coming out for the final match with Paul Bearer, but Diesel, he is still there. He's in the entranceway, and he actually shoves Paul Bearer down, and Diesel and Undertaker start fighting before the officials break it up for our fifth and final match for the WF title: Undertaker versus Bret Hart, the champion. Um, this is they do Junior mentions this is a Bret's 43rd pay per view appearance as Undertaker controls the start of this match, including
Damn.
a face
Wait, I
press.
like Diesel's line. I ain't afraid. I ain't afraid of the dog. I ain't afraid of the dog. Remember he kept saying that? I like
Yeah,
that line.
he'll say that often. I'm not scared of Doc. He's gonna give a story about it later too. Um, so yeah, Taker has a face vice on Bret Hart, and Bret Hart tries to put his foot on the rope, but Paul Bearer keeps knocking Bret's foot off the rope. Uh, Bret fights back, however, and sends Taker outside, and he dives on top, um, over the top. But Taker sits up and he catches Bret, and he rams Bret into the ring post. They fight on the floor a bit more, and Earl Hebner, he has to argue with Paul Bearer to kind of break up the count because they're just taking liberties. They're just out there for a while, and Paul Bearer. I mean, the referee just can't count them all out. Bret sends Taker into the stairs, and he starts working on Taker's left leg, including putting on the figure four. Um, there's this funny part on commentary where Mr. Perfect says Helen Hart, Bret Hart's mother, is older than George Burns, who turned 100, and you can hear it. So for some reason, I didn't think it was that funny, but for some reason, it makes Junior break. Like he laughs a bit. Like
Do you ever
not
see? Do you ever see?
it,
Yeah, Vince when he breaks, it's kind of interesting. Do you ever see him? He's on the phone with Booker T. Booker T's like hunting Austin, and Booker T's like going off on a rant, and Vince like breaks character on live TV, laughing.
I don't remember that, but I believe you.
Well, I Google it. It's. I think it's on YouTube. But like, he just starts like belly, like he can't control his laughter anymore, and he looks like a completely different person. He doesn't look like Vince McMahon at all. Like it just looks like a real guy. Like it looks like a real guy. Like
Yeah,
it's really funny when he breaks character. When he something like makes him break character, he starts laughing. It's really and it's weird things too. Like Booker T is being funny, but it's funny that Booker T made him like just break character.
yeah, and it's weird because this is not his. When we're saying he's laughing, he's not doing that sarcastic "ho ho ho" laugh.
No,
It's
this is
like
real laugh.
he's trying not to laugh, and you can hear
Mhm.
that he's trying not to laugh. But the
Yeah.
weird part was, to me, none of it was funny. What Mr. Perfect says, I have no idea why that was making him laugh so much. But
But I think Mr. Perfect was throwing in a lot of like in jokes that Vince and like the crew would get to break Vince. Like, you know what I mean? Like
oh, okay,
stuff like they would talk about behind the scenes and he would like work it in. And
oh,
by the
so
way, this match so far, I watched this match. This is probably Undertaker's best pay-per-view match up to this point.
okay, that's fair. Yeah. So Bret
Mhm.
Hart starts going for Undertaker's mask. Taker starts, but then while they're laying on the mat, Undertaker starts axe kicking Bret Hart in the face to get loose. Taker sends Bret to the floor into the steps, and he starts choking him with cables while Paul Bear is distracting the referee. Then Undertaker sends Bret into the ring bells, I guess, stand, and he starts
Mhm.
jabbing him with a chair. But Bret Hart fights back to boos, and as he wraps Undertaker's leg around the post, he gets more boos. So the crowd is turning on Bret, and then Bret.
People love the Undertaker. They want Undertaker to have the belt again. You know, he's been kept away from the belt for years. Now people like, I want this guy as the champ.
Yeah. So Bret Hart starts doing his moves of doom, which gets a mixed reaction. Some people are cheering, some people are booing, but he gets caught by Undertaker before he can put on the sharpshooter. And there's a short rest in peace chant, which ends when both of them go down to a double clothesline. Bret Hart starts removing a turnbuckle pad, and then he removes Undertaker's mask and he rams Taker headfirst into the exposed buckle, which gets loud boos.
Wow, damn.
Undertaker catches Bret in the tombstone to a huge pop when he hits that tombstone. But then Diesel comes out. He pulls the referee out for a disqualification. Diesel flips off Undertaker, and Undertaker starts stalking Diesel to the back. Ugh. I liked everything until the end, but I understand why they had to do the ending. I give this a B. You're right. This is probably Undertaker's best pay-per-view match in a long, long, long time. Uh,
Yeah,
but
fantastic pay-per-view match. I think this match was important in the evolution of Undertaker because Undertaker now is doing like he's doing like real wrestling. He's wrestling more like a real person, still being the Undertaker, but like Brett is like showing that Taker can be a real guy, and I think that's important for where Taker goes in the future. In the next 20 years from this match, the finish was what it was, but we were building to WrestleMania. We got two big matches. You know, we got Brett and Sean and Diesel Taker, and we've got to set those up. And you know, other than the finish, I thought this was the best match on the show.
Yeah, and that's fair. So after this, we get the Royal Rumble Plus. We get Todd Pettengill. He's with Gorilla Monsoon, who says like we can't have what we just had. So I'm actually gonna do in your house Bret Hart versus Diesel. And that match is gonna happen now. Doc Hendricks, he's with Shawn Michaels, who says Phase One is done. I won the Royal Rumble. The dinosaurs are out, and the Click will have the Click is going to get the belt. His fan base is called the Click. You know what's really funny? We're watching this thing of like billionaire Ted skits of like they're too old Shawn Michaels calling everybody, the dinosaurs are gone and stuff. But then he had like Dory Funk Jr. Yeah, Dory
I
Funk
know.
Jr.
And Jake the Snake.
Yeah, it's so funny that such contradictions.
You
Um,
know, I was gonna say, I this feels like the company is getting better, right? The company is getting better.
yeah,
But I think, man, I hate to say it. I think the problem and why WCW destroys them this year. It's by the end of the year, WWF has almost no viewers. I think Shawn Michaels was a big problem. I really do. I don't care how good of a worker he was. The way he carries himself is very off-putting. It's not. You don't want to see this guy. It's like I don't. And then just being like, oh, I'm so glad we got rid of Hogan and Macho Man. Like they're more over than you, bro. Like I'm sorry. I think Shawn Michaels was a big problem. Going with him was a problem.
yeah. So Todd Pettengill, he's with Gorilla Monsoon again, and they're talking when Undertaker confronts Gorilla Monsoon, and he threatens that Diesel will not become champion over his dead body. So Gorilla Monsoon goes, "Oh man, we can't just have what we just had happen at the Royal Rumble. So tell you what, I made it Bret versus Diesel at In Your House. I'm making it a steel cage match so that there's no more like bullshit finish like we did tonight. So that's going to be a steel cage match. Doc Hendricks, he is with Diesel about, hey, did you just hear what just Gorilla Monsoon just said? And Diesel says, shut up. He tells Doc to shut up, and he congratulates Gorilla Monsoon on being able to talk even after the lobotomy. And he says, Brett, you're only alive because I allowed it. And he's off to a great start, but then he gets kind of lost in his promo somewhere, and he goes, "You don't gotta like me, but you gotta love me." And he knows it sounds stupid as right away, and he almost breaks. He's supposed to give you serious, but he almost breaks, and you can hear someone off camera laughing at him when he says this line, and he almost breaks. And then when Doc Hendricks brings up Undertaker, you hear it's the same person who laughed go woo in the back. I'm assuming it's got to be Shawn Michaels, right? They're in the
It's
same
yeah,
dressing
yeah,
room.
yeah. It's gotta be something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So when Doc brings up Undertaker, Diesel then starts telling a story. He goes, he starts telling a story about how his when he was a kid, he got in trouble by his mom. He got sent him to the dark, but he goes, "I'm not scared of the dark." Ever since then, the only thing I'm scared of is the tax man. And I'm like, all right, what IRS? Like, what does that fucking mean?
In other
It's
words,
stupid.
he does like paying taxes. I guess I don't know.
Yeah, stupid.
It'd be funny
Diesel.
if IRS was still in the company and then like the next night was like, I heard you're afraid of me. You should be. You know.
Yeah. Um, a flustered promo by Diesel, which kind of shows like, yeah, he was never gonna be the face. But what does make it cool about this little plus, it ends with Todd Pettengill with Jim Cornette and Vader. Vader smashing the lockers, and Jim Cornette saying, "Don't overlook this guy." So I like that it ended with Vader just like being like his presence.
Yeah, that was
Overall,
pretty
fun
cool.
show. Yeah.
Yeah, good show. Good course correction from '95. I'm looking forward. Look. WCW is going to have a great year, much better than
Mhm.
WWF up
Yeah.
ahead. I am looking forward though to the big thing. This is a lesson to everyone, every company. Just because you're getting your ass kicked doesn't mean that you can't be building to the future. And while WCW was trouncing WWF, they are building up Stone Cold Steve Austin, who is going to change the industry forever. So I am looking forward to month by month seeing this guy become the greatest of all time. So
Yeah, it's gonna be fun watching his evolution.
mhm.
To becoming
Yeah. So
to
that's going to be
becoming the
really fun. I'm glad we're in the Austin era, so I'm glad we're here. So yeah, it's going to be an interest. Every show I think from here to like the year 2000 is going to be very interesting. I mean, we're not going to get to the year 2000 for a long time now because there's a lot more pay-per-views in 96, 97 than there ever have been before. But like we're only going to you understand like in 2025 we're only going to be able to do 96, 97. I don't even think we're going to get to 98 by the end of the year. Isn't that crazy?
yeah, that's crazy because there's gonna be
Yeah.
so many. There's just gonna be
But
so many.
but they're fun. They're fun watches. I think. We'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong, but we'll see.
See,
But let me tell you what's going on in the next 4 weeks, Andrew Lee, bro. Next
yeah,
week It's Super Bowl 6. It's Hogan versus the Giant in a steel cage. In 2 weeks, it's In Your House 6. It's Bret Hart versus Diesel in a steel cage.
Okay.
In 3 weeks, it's Uncensored 96. It's the Mega Powers versus the Alliance to end Hulkamania in the triple steel cage. And then in 4 weeks, it's WrestleMania 12, Shawn Michaels versus Bret Hart in an Iron Man match. I wish it had been a steel cage. What are you looking forward to?
Um, I guess it might be uncensored. 96. What about you, my friend?
Yeah, Uncensored because of how bad it is. I'm excited to see you see it because it's horrible. It's really like there really was nowhere else for Hogan to go but to turn heel after that. How bad that match is. And that match, and I'm looking forward to next week. I forgot next week is the event where Brian Pillman breaks character,
Mm,
and
that's right. Star Super Brawl. Yes.
yeah, and he freaks out Bobby Heenan. So I'm looking forward to that match. So yeah, it should be an interesting couple of weeks and an interesting couple of months ahead as we travel 1996. That was the show. Please subscribe to us on YouTube and on iTunes and follow us all over the place. Andrew Lee, bro, thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you next week for Super Bowl 6.
See you.